I see comments of people calling me a shill.
Hello there, this is Darth Melvin, leader of the Knights of Melvin. Star Wars Theory has really been pushing fake news on his channel. Now he's claiming that Rey was always determined to be Palpatine's granddaughter. Take a look, I'll break it down, why he's a liar, and a total Disney shill.
Now everything is revealed with the end of the Skywalker saga in Episode 9, and we know that Rey was Palpatine's granddaughter for real. But the main question remains amongst a lot of fans. Was Palpatine just thrown in there at the very end to please a lot of us after The Last Jedi? A cheap move, if you will? Or was it always pre-planned?
No, it wasn't planned. The sequel trilogy had no plan.
People will say like, oh, it's shill. Now back in December 31st, I got an email from Toby, and Toby basically deciphered something that none of us really have. And this, if it's correct, proves that Palpatine was planned from the very beginning. The first words that Rey says in The Force Awakens is an anagram for I am a Palpatine. Let's break it down. People will say like, oh, it's shill. The Tito yells at BB-8, who beeps madly, struggling to free himself. Rey watches this injustice for a beat, finally yelling out, Talama Parkwal. JJ is famous for his mystery boxes, says Toby, and his production company Bad Robot makes puzzle boxes that are solved with text and codes. Here's an excerpt from JJ Abrams' interview while making The Force Awakens with Wired magazine. There's a really positive side to keeping quiet. You can protect the audience from spoilers in certain moments that, in a way, obviate the movie experience. But on the other hand, you risk being seen as a coy or as a withholding shithead. Now we have George Lucas, who says it's like poetry of sorts. They rhyme. So by this logic, Toby says, if we look and mirror the certain letters in Parkwal with the exclamation mark, in this case, Q to P, exclamation mark to I, U to N, and A to E, that equals pine, like Pinewood Studios. It's an anagram. This is one studio where all of the Star Wars films were actually filmed in. Now, then we have Talama Parkwal. If we take this new anagram of Talama and we put P-A-R-P-N-E-L-I, we have I am a Palpatine. The leftover R is Rey. The mirrored letters I see as an homage to Pinewood Studios. The Force Awakens, Rey's first words were I am a Palpatine, and then the ending of Rise of Skywalker, she says Rey Skywalker. So we can really see that Star Wars is about choice, at least the sequel trilogy is. Finn was a stormtrooper, but he chose not to be. Poe was a spice smuggler, but he chose not to be. And Rey was a Palpatine, but she also chose not to be.
An anagram? Wow! The sequel trilogy was actually real clever and deep. This anagram was right in front of our face the whole time.
People will say like, oh, it's shill. Or this is all just a major coincidence and it really means nothing. But it does make you think, could this really be the biggest Easter egg in Star Wars? Let me know what you guys think down below. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it got you thinking a little bit. Big shout out to Toby for cracking this code for me. You know, JJ's famous for his mystery boxes in all forms, and I think this is definitely more than just a coincidence.
Yeah, it does make you think, because I'm Star Wars Theory. I come up with theories. That's what I do on this channel. I have so many theories about the sequel trilogy. This video is hardcore Disney shill. It's the second one recently that has attempted to pump this garbage sequel trilogy with steroids. He thinks if he pushes the narrative that Palpatine was planned all along, people will respect Disney Star Wars more. This is 100% fake news. There was no concrete plan for Rey or the sequel trilogy or Palpatine returning.
It's very unexpected. It's a total surprise when about a year ago, yeah, it is that long, I had an email from JJ saying, is there a good time to call you? And where should I call you? So I emailed back to such and such a time, and this is the best phone number to get me on. And then he called me straight away and said, we're thinking of bringing back the Emperor. How do you feel? So I controlled myself. I said, well, sounds like a great idea. And I realized my voice had shot up there, and I thought, what would it cost me if I speak like that? And I said, well, that's wonderful. And he said, well, we're thinking about bringing him back because it would be just great to round off those 9 episodes, sort of the way we began in terms of the dark side. So that's when it started, and I'm in the middle of filming now, and I still can't believe it. that's when it started. That's when it started. That's when it started.
I'll be ostracized. People will say, like, oh, it's Shill.
Clearly, this is the first time he's been asked to reprise his role as Palpatine. Had anything been set in stone in The Force Awakens, Disney would have made sure that he was signed on to Episode 9. What happens if they make him a major plan and he decides he doesn't want to do it? Now, you could argue that they were never going to bring Palpatine back anyways. Okay, but it's very publicly known that The Force Awakens did one thing. Last Jedi did a different thing. Rise of Skywalker did another thing. The three movies didn't go together because there was no definitive plan. If this anagram is legit, JJ and Disney should have told Rian Johnson, dude, bro, do what you want with this movie, but Rey is a Palpatine. Okay, bro? That is essential to things moving forward. There was no such conversation. Rian Johnson had complete creative control due to JJ's lazy, open-ended, garbage script for The Force Awakens. Rey being Palpatine's granddaughter was one of the many fan theories out there for years. After Rian Johnson killed off Snoke, Disney had little options. So they decided to bring back Palpatine and answer Rey's heritage. I don't think it's the worst decision given the circumstances, but don't act like this was planned from the beginning. Rey was a poorly written character with no definitive backstory. Star Wars Theory is a giant Disney shill. He pushes fake Star Wars news on his channel. The sequel trilogy is trash and it needs to be retconned. Become a knight, subscribe to the channel.
The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.